Should you train differently whether you're bulking or you're cutting? A lot of people have been asking me that question lately since I'm cutting, and I will tell you in this video if you should change your training approach, your exercises choices, how you work out, whether you are bulking or you are cutting. First thing first, let's get one thing out of the way. There is no one exercise that will help you bulk or put mass on, and then exercises that are meant for cutting. If someone is telling you, well, this is 5 exercises for cutting, that doesn't make sense. There's no exercises that will help you put mass on. All the exercises have one single purpose. At the gym, of course, weight training exercises, one single purpose is to help you build muscle mass. All right, there is no, those are for cutting, those are for bulking. This is complete BS. If someone's telling you that, disregard it. All right, so now that this is out of the way, first, welcome to my channel, Sharif here, Natural Bodybuilder. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel so it can help boost the algorithm and get that video out there. Alright, so let me first tell you how I approach training when I'm bulking versus when I'm cutting. When I'm bulking, I have obviously a lot more carbs in my system, a lot more calories, my muscle glycogen are full, my muscles are well hydrated thanks to all the carbs. Alright, so it means that I'm a lot stronger, I'm able to push more weight, I have a lot of energy, so less risk of injury as well. So I will use that time to kind of push heavier weight and to take a little bit more rest period in between my sets. In both cases, my goal is getting my muscle to failure. Whether I'm cutting or I'm bulking, my goal is getting my muscle to failure and stimulating my muscle. But when I'm bulking, I will use the fact that I have more strength to actually lift heavier. So instead of doing, let's say, I don't know, 200 on the bench for higher reps, well, I will maybe increase that weight, take a bit more rest in between sets, use that strength that I have to also get stronger and to push heavier weights. So that's the way that I'll be training when I'm bulking. It's really getting my muscle fatigued due to single sets. I'm not going to be doing a lot of supersets and a lot of circuits and a lot of giant sets and drop sets, because with a heavy load, a single set on its own, 12 reps, 15 reps, my muscles are just getting the feeling that I want them, and that will be good. All right, so as opposed to when I'm cutting, for example, I will have a lot less calories. I would feel that my muscle have less glycogen, less power in them. So instead of going heavy, which will result in a high risk of injury, what I will do is I will go lighter, but I will incorporate a different way to keep the intensity high. Because like I said, we always will keep the intensity high. Whether we're bulking or cutting, the intensity always has to be high. When we're bulking, we have more strength, so we can use the fact that we have more strength to lift heavier weight, and that's a way to keep the intensity high. But now on the other side, when the strength is not always there, you woke up, you're in a deficit, you're a bit tired, well, there's other ways to keep the intensity high, and that's what I'll tell you about. You can do drop sets. So let's say you did 200 pounds on the bench press, you drop a bit of weight, you do another 10 reps, you drop a bit, you do another 10 reps. Even if all the weights that you used weren't as heavy, but it still allows you to get to that, to reach muscle fatigue and muscle failure in another way. You can do circuits and supersets. I just finished my bench press, I jump on the floor, I do a set of push-up to failure. It's something that I do a lot, especially when I'm cutting, because I don't want to go super heavy on the bench and risk getting injured. So I will just do a lighter weight, do maybe 8 to 10 reps. I will stop before failure and then go on the floor and do push-ups to failure. And in that way, I've reached muscle fatigue, I reached muscle failure, but without risking injury. You could do giant sets. So after the push-up, you go do your flies. Alright, and that way Arnold used to actually train like that. He said it in the video where he would do shoulder press, slides, lateral raises, all that in a giant circuit. And it's another way of stimulating your muscle, reaching failure, keeping the intensity high, but without needing huge heavy weights. And actually, this is my preferred way of training. I don't want to stress about getting injured every time I'm squatting. I don't want to stress getting injured every time I'm benching because I'm going for a heavy weight. It is a way to keep the intensity high, but when you're cutting, you don't want to do that. Your muscles don't have all the glycogen they need. They don't have all the hydration. You're in a deficit. You're not just at your max strength, so you're going to put the weight that you can't really handle, and it's not ideal. You're risking injuries. So when you're cutting, more drop sets, supersets, circuits, use that way to keep the intensity high, all right? Short rest period, as opposed to when you're bulking, you can take a little bit more rest period, but the exercise choice is always the same. I would never change. There is not like one exercise for bulking and one for cutting. The bench press as opposed to, I don't know, the machine press. It doesn't work that way. Both of them will have one single outcome, which is helping you build muscle mass. The fact that will determine if you're cutting or bulking is your diet. All right, it's not the exercise choice, is your diet. So the exercise choice stay the same, but I will incorporate a lot more drop sets, supersets, giant sets when I'm cutting. When I'm bulking, I would go a little bit heavier. Rest period a little bit more when I'm bulking, because the only intensity I'm using is the weight, as opposed to when I'm cutting. Rest periods are shorter. I want to keep that muscle kind of the pump. I don't want to lose that pump and hit it. And actually, I've realized that I'm enjoying a lot more those kind of workouts. I'm not cooling down. The pump is always there. 1 hour, 20 minutes, and I'm out, in and out. And that's it. Now, it's your diet that will determine whether you're cutting or bulking. Last thing I want to say, whether I'm cutting or bulking, I'm always prioritizing my pre and post workout meal. I always make sure that I have carbs pre and post workout. Pre to fill up my glycogen levels and kind of give me energy for the workout, and post to help me recover, fill up my glycogen levels. All right, so whether you're cutting or bulking, especially when you're cutting, you don't want to neglect your pre and post workout meal. Those are super important. Keep them kind of rich, keep those calories and carbs high around training, and you'll do pretty well. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.